Hello everyone, my name is Leslie. Welcome back to my channel. This is a series of frugal thoughts, and my frugal thought for you today is going to be about some extreme ways and frugal tightwad ways to save for the Christmas and what to do this year for Christmas. Today is unfortunately December 21st, so hopefully you followed my 12 days of Christmas up until this point so that you are in a pretty good spot. I had mentioned some of these previously during those 12 days of Christmas. I also did a similar video last year. I did not review it in preparation for tonight, so I don't know if I'm repeating things. Hopefully there's some original thoughts in here, but I will put the link down there. I wanted to do a similar video. So hopefully you are in a great position. I do have notes down here. Hopefully you are in a great position and you have gotten that gig job. You have some extra money. You've been doing the things you have to do. One of the things that is an extreme, and this is basically telling you I'm going to be all over the board right now. As you may know, if you watch this, I do not have a script and I just speak off the top of my head extemporaneously. One of the extreme things I've heard about families doing, which I always thought was kind of interesting, is that there are no gifts for children under like 15. That was pretty extreme to me because as someone who, when you're 16, 17, 18, you still want stuff. But that was just kind of the rule that Santa Claus comes for children under the age of 15. And if you're over 15, you get like a book, something that strikes me as very extreme, but I guess to some extent. And I also thought you would always like dread when you turn 15. But anyway, that's why it's extreme. That's why it's extreme. It may work for you. That may be something that you are comfortable with. I will also tell you that there is someone said it is, I think it was Esther, said something, you want something, you need something, and something to read. Something to wear, something to read. So something you want, something you need, something you wear, something to read. So a lot of families would only have 4 gifts. Some families do 3 gifts, which is the 3 gifts that the wise men brought the baby Jesus. So depending on your particular style, I have said many times, I had a pretty sad history of Christmases when I was young, so I was fairly indulgent with my children. So, but I know families who have said, oh, I got my child a pair of pajamas and they wanted this book and I got them, one thing. And I have learned that children will rise to what their expectations are. So if that's how you've done it, that may work for you. I did tell you about last year about a family I know who celebrated after the 25th. They, I'm going to say, told little white fibs to their children who were under the age of like 5 or 6 about what day Christmas was on because they wanted to be able to go the day after Christmas and get the better sales on everything. So they would celebrate it like the 29th or 30th. I also know another family who did a little bit of a difference on this. They celebrated it just 2 days later because they would go visit the parents and they wanted their children to wake up and have Santa Claus in their home. So they would visit their parents on Christmas Day. Not, everyone kind of knew, don't talk about Santa Claus, because their Santa Claus presents didn't come on until the 27th. And which they thought was the 25th because they were younger children. And my friend did say she would spend all day the 26th running around and getting really good deals. So that is another possibility. Again, a little bit extreme. You can't really pull that off for very long. And once your children know how to read or they're familiar with what's going on, but I do think that in some environments, in some situations, you could get away with celebrating the holiday a few days later and your children not knowing about it. This is another extreme. It's not really that extreme. It's kind of commonplace now, and this is regifting. A woman today on the TV said that regifting is completely acceptable. However, you have to make sure that it is unused and that you don't give it to someone in the same circle of friends and or family. I have absolutely no problem at all with regifting things. I wouldn't care if someone gave me something that was regifted, as long as it was something that I wanted. I mean, if you're going to give me a pickaxe, I don't really want a pickaxe, but if you give me something a memoir or a book, I would have absolutely no problem if it had been something that person had gotten themselves earlier. Yeah, I told them. Oh, I had also a group of friends. This should have been. I had a group, a couple of couples who said that when they were still dating and before they had children, they would celebrate their Christmas was really January 1st. They celebrated with their family, but for themselves, they really celebrated. They went out New Year's Eve, and they would wake up on January 1st, because back then there really wasn't, and even now a lot of things are closed, that they would celebrate the holiday on January 1st and kind of enjoy Christmas and celebrate Christmas on January 1st. She said, we were always off and it was really nice. So that is, again, a little bit extreme. One of the things I did want to say, which was some other ways to save money during, again, somewhat extreme, is to go to the free events in your neighborhood or you can't do it at the mall, but if there's like a toy drive or something like that where there is a Santa Claus, and have your photos taken with that Santa. Those could be your photos with Santa, as opposed to taking them to the mall if that is something you do. I do also think that you can pick up, someone told me that, I'm just throwing this out there, someone told me today that she paid for all of her Christmas gifts this year by picking up pine cones in parks and bringing them to, she said she found someone who used them as part of gifting, and she would sell them. So that's just an example of trying to find some quick way to make some quick cash. What else? I also think I did this during the 12 days of Christmas. I think that's part of the extreme ways is to the decorations. I think that you can, this time of year especially, get free or very reduced price trees at the places where they're selling trees, because they're kind of wanting to get rid of their inventory. I know that the place where we got our tree, every year when they're really like running out of trees, they just kind of put them on the sidewalk, and there's always someone who comes and picks them up. And this is my last throwaway about gift giving, which is one of the biggest expenses of the holidays. And this is kind of what Dave Ramsey says in a different way, which Dave Ramsey always says, be weird, don't be the typical person. I think I heard that the average person will spend $892 this year, and that's a lot of money to spend on people for Christmas. I think that you should be the weird aunt and or friend and or cousin, and it's okay. And that is just to go to a bookstore and or, a smaller store and buy something that is heartfelt and thought of for them, and have it be $25 or less, or $20 and less. I frequently see books at the Goodwill that I would think that would make tremendous gifts for this person or that person or that person. And even if it's been used, sometimes they are used, but they really are in top-notch shape. So I think that in terms of gift giving, I think you could be the weird cousin and or uncle and or aunt and or sister who only gives books every year. I would have loved that, and I think that one of my husband's relatives does something very similar. This person, I'm trying not to name gender, so in case they ever watch this, doesn't really give gifts that cost a whole lot of money, but this person puts effort and time into these gifts, and so they're always very much appreciated. So thank you so much for watching this video. This is Leslie. These were some of my frugal, and I'm not really going to say extreme. Some of them were extreme, but frugal ways to save money this holiday season if you're in the real last minute crunch, I should say. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Bye-bye now.